I got shot at because I pressure washed an old woman's house. For free. No, seriously. 1 second I'm spraying off some mildew. Next thing I know, a bullet zips past my leg and water's spraying like a busted hydrant. All because I did something nice. See, I run a little pressure washing business in a quiet suburb outside of Elmsdale. Nothing fancy, just me, a truck, and a washer that makes driveways sparkle. I got into it after leaving electrical trade school. Good money, but man, I hated the job. This, I actually enjoy. It's satisfying watching years of grime vanish. Like therapy, but with high-pressure water. Anyway, this all kicked off on a slow Thursday. I had a morning gig cleaning a driveway for a guy named Don. Took maybe an hour. When I was packing up, I noticed a few of the other houses nearby looked tired. Overgrown weeds, green streaks crawling up the siding, driveways so black you'd think they were painted. Don told me most of those houses belong to elderly folks, widows, retired couples, folks living alone. And look, I'm not some saint, but I don't like walking away from people who clearly need help. I figured, hell, I got time and water. Why not? I crossed the street to this sweet old lady's place. Her name was Mrs. Virginia Lang. Must have been late 70s, white hair tied back, tiny frame. When I knocked, she peeked out like she thought I was selling Bibles. I told her, no ma'am, just offering to clean up your house for free. She squinted at me like I just spoke Martian, then slowly nodded. I spent the next 2 hours going to town. Front porch, walkway, windows, even the mailbox. She kept trying to offer me lunch. I declined, but thanked her. Before I left, I asked if she could let the other neighbors know I'd be knocking. They wouldn't be surprised. That's how I ended up at house number 2. The owners were a retired couple. Quiet folks, thanked me a dozen times. Everything was smooth until halfway through that job, a guy from the next house over, gray hair, big gut, red flannel shirt, starts yelling from his porch like I just backed over his dog. "What the hell you think you're doing?" he barked. I called back, "Just washing up for the neighbors, got permission." He scoffed. "I don't need charity. People like you make others lazy, ruin this whole damn neighborhood." I raised my hands like, all right, whatever, no problem. Told him I wasn't going to touch his property. Figured that'd be the end of it. Spoiler, it wasn't. After wrapping up house number 2, I crossed to the 3rd. This one hit me hard. A widow named Evelyn Carter. Her husband died a year ago. You could feel the grief clinging to that place. The porch sagged, the paint was peeling, and the air just felt heavy. I told her the same thing. Let me clean it up. No charge. Her eyes welled up before she even said yes. I was about 20 minutes in, working my way down the back patio when I heard the yelling again. "You still here?" It was red flannel guy, Frank, I'd learn later. He marched right up to me, got in my face. "You think you're some kind of hero?" I tried to stay calm. "Sir, I've got permission. She asked me to help." "She's weak. You're taking advantage of old people. I'm telling you, leave, now." I turned my back. That was my mistake. Next sound I heard was a deafening crack, followed by a hiss of water exploding from my washer line. I spun around. Frank was holding a pistol, pointed at me. He shot the hose, missed me by inches. My heart was pounding like a drum solo. I shouted, "You're insane!" and bolted for my van, slammed the door, locked it, and dialed 911 with shaking hands. He followed me, pounding on my window like some movie villain. I didn't know if he'd fire again. I kept thinking, this is how I die, washing houses. When the cops showed up, it was like a SWAT scene. 4 cruisers, 8 officers, guns drawn, crouched behind doors. One shouted, "Drop the weapon!" Frank froze. For a second, I thought he'd do something stupid, but he didn't. He dropped the gun and raised his hands. They cuffed him right there on his lawn while the whole street watched. The cops questioned me, then walked around to speak to every house I'd worked on. I guess they had to make sure I wasn't trespassing or scamming seniors. Thankfully, everyone backed me up. One even handed over cookies she'd baked while I was cleaning her porch. They charged Frank with assault with a deadly weapon. He got 1 year in county. Part of me felt bad. He was just an old, angry man. But then again, he fired a loaded gun at me. The worst part? My pressure washer was toast. My only one. I figured I'd shut down the business for a bit. Use my savings for legal help, just in case. Then, 2 days later, I walk into my office and find a group of people waiting for me. It's them. The neighbors. The folks I'd helped. Virginia stepped forward with a grin and a receipt in hand. "We thought you deserved this." Brand new pressure washer. Way fancier than my old one. $900. They all chipped in. I didn't even know what to say. Just stood there, stunned, holding back tears like a little kid. I went straight to Evelyn's house that afternoon and finished the job. Her porch gleamed like new. That's not even the end. A local reporter caught wind of the whole thing. The shooting, the arrest, the gift. Before I knew it, I was on the evening news. And now, business is booming. I've got more calls than I can handle. Hired 2 part-timers. Still don't charge seniors. But I never go anywhere without checking who's watching me from the porch next door. You know what sticks with me? He didn't even hate me. He hated seeing someone do what he never could. So, what really triggered the bullet? What?